with 2 seconds. It's just impossible. Nihal did a good job to hold, but a disappointing game for him and an excellent positional effort by Wesley. I mean, the maneuvering, the prophylaxis, and then understanding the right moment to strike in the center. Credit to Wesley there for an excellent game. He jumps out to a 2-point lead.
It's almost, you know, he's coming up with this move, right? Knight h5 in the opening, and
I don't know how he's doing
the
it.
best player that knows how to play it. Wow, it's strange that that works that way.
Yeah, he is an elite player, and you know, his experience, his pedigree. He is one of the great positional players of our time, and that really showed in that game. Now, what's going on here is Nihal. I like the strategy going h3 f5, explosive opening play. But who is it going to favor? d6, knight d5. It's a crazy position. Both players are playing so quickly. Is this still prep?
Yeah, I think it is actually. To be quite honest, I've seen this exact position.
Wow.
I'm pretty sure it was between Magnus and Hikaru.
All right. I'm gonna sip my root beer. You talk about it.
yeah, exactly. Esteemed expert over here, but yeah, I've just seen this in one of these online rapid events that Magnus was putting on, and yeah, it's just one of these theoretical positions. So honestly, I think they probably still know what's going on.
That's just, yeah, it's one of those things. The real theory starts on move 40. You know, the real juice, you know, the real battle starts on move 35, 40. Bishop f5, and I am always biased in favor of exchange sacks, but it would be premature there. Knight e7, smoking the bishop out of f5, nice move. Maybe stick a rook on f4. But then g3. Nihal going h6.
Nice prep move, because now you could go rook f4 and g3 and go back to f6 and say, are you happy with that, or is that good for me?
I really like Black's position here.
Yep.
Really
offhand, I think it looks better. And you also have knight g6 as well. White wants g3, you know, king g2, all these moves, but it's so much to have happen.
Yeah, plus that bishop on g4, it could very easily get trapped. And queen g6, h5, Nihal doubling on the f file, immobilizing the knight. Rook f1 is probably called for.
So easy to play for Black.
Yep. Just activating all the pieces, natural moves. And sometimes you don't need to reinvent the wheel.
Yeah, look at that. I was about to say, do you need to play bishop h5? Because you're almost losing by force after queen g6, or queen f7, right? And it's like h5, how do you stop it?
Yeah, so for example, rook f1, queen f7, then you have to move the knight, and h5 and white's position collapses.
Right.
Now, there's some crazy ideas here with g4 trying to force the bishop back onto g4. I mean, you could still try for this queen f7 idea, probably a little too brazen though.
Right.
Let's see what Nihal comes up with.
There's always like bishop f5 if you're quote unquote trapped, so you can give a pawn back. So yeah, I think g4 and then doing the idea is probably too much.
Knight g6 is still very possible. You could also play a move like queen h7 maybe to prepare g4.
Right.
I don't know. Maybe a little bit too wild, but I think Nihal, he comes up with moves like these.
It's true.
I'm calling it. He's going to play queen h7. All right, Nihal. Please make me look good.
Time to make him look real good.
Oh, he played g4. Okay. I'll take some credit. He goes for this. This is what I suggested initially. And here's the thing. White can't move the knight. I think Wesley has to go queen d3. And then, no, never mind. I never said anything.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't understand. Why is the Evo bar so optimistic? I guess because rook takes f3 is not a threat due to queen takes h6.
So then rook f1 is the move to, well, you have to guard f2.
Here's the hilarious thing, Aman. When I was showing this line initially, I simply missed rook takes f3. But now I realized that it wasn't even a threat to begin with because of this.
Right.
Will Wesley find rook f1? He does.
Of course he sees it.
Of course he sees everything.
That's a huge move. It's really strong. So what after h5? Is it just bishop f5? Because that still looks good for Black.
I mean, knight g5 also is also a possibility. And after queen g6, perhaps the Zen like
Oh
bishop
man.
f3 or even bishop d7.
Yeah, bishop d7, bishop a4, like
Oh
all the
my
way
goodness. Oh my lands. And if you get to play h4, anchoring the knight on g5, black's
Right.
counterplay is going to start fizzling out.
I think
And
it's
Wesley,
bishop d7.
he plays it, and that's the correct move. The eval bar unchanged. My
So
goodness.
if you play c6, not a great move, but let's say you play it, you want to trap the bishop, h4 happens, and you come right back to h3.
Right. Amazing. The bishop is just all over the place.
He's
And,
sacking everything here.
I feel like since the first game, Wesley's tactical form, and I'll probably end up jinxing him, but it has improved tremendously. He just seems more confident. He's not taking quite as much time on these decisions.
Right.
And this is a pivotal game. I think queen h6 and knight g6. Oh, but then there's knight f7 check. Just like black is kind of stuck in molasses here on the on the king side. Queen h5 is a very nice move, though. Look at the eval bar. Something happened to it.
This h4 move was very creative. He just didn't want to allow that bishop back.
Excellent move. And I think g4 might have been the correct response, creating an anchor point on f5. But
and yeah, knight g6. I can't look.
Oh
this
my
is
goodness,
going to be nasty.
Painful. And just like that, Nihal turns the tables. Can he finish this game? Knight g6 anyway looks pretty good.
Yeah, you can almost just go there.
Although after f5, knight f4, white can sack the exchange.
Right.
And that is unclear. Okay, you can take on f4 with a rook.
But I think that's what he wants. He wants to say, like, you know, occupy that square with a piece other than your knight.
but where's the knight going to go? Because after knight f3, there's rook takes g4. And after knight e6, there is also, I believe, rook takes g4. And at the end, you're going to pick off the knight. What a crazy game.
You know what? I think you allow that, and you play king h2, queen takes f3, queen h6, and rook g2 in the line.
Say that again?
The line you just put on the board, rook takes f4, knight f3.
No, you want to go knight f3.
Yeah, and then just like, if you sack the rook, I go king h2, and you take my knight, but then I have my queen h6, my rook g2, and I'm kind of getting some stuff myself. I don't know the eval, but
stuff. It appears that black is going to be able to escape, and I can guarantee you this is what Nihal is calculating right now. Once again, the wheels are turning. He goes for it, and you've got to go rook takes g4 here. And he's trying to figure out, is my king escaping there? It is, but we know what the eval bar is. Much harder to go for this in a real game. Gutsy call by Nihal, and it's going to pay off.
I think so, yeah. The knight, hey, we've said it before, and this is an important thing for people to remember. It's the best defender of the king. It always covers, like, just it seems to cover every square, especially when you have a queen trying to check a king. It's so annoying.
Right. Whoops. And guess what? Whoops.
So frustrating.
Whoops. Not a single square is accessible. And this is winning for black. If white doesn't check, by the way, then there's queen f4 check, forcing the queen trade and basically ending the game immediately. Just a few more accurate moves required of Nihal. We will have one more game after this one in the 5-minute portion.
There's a great comment in the chat. Please remove Amon's face and put an analysis board there instead.
Well, finally, some sense, something sensible.
Some reasonable in the chat. Hey, right. I'm all for it. No need to be on camera. It's easier to be off cam.
Now, where's the win?
Hey, the knight's the best defender. Look at that thing. It's a beast.
I mean, you could play queen f8, and I think that holds everything together. But obviously, if you're Nihal, you would want something a little bit more forcing and convincing. But no, I think this is the right move. Queen f8, and maybe like, you've got to untangle somehow. Bishop e3.
Right. Oh, you know what? There might have been some like almost meeting pattern, because the rook on h7 is vulnerable to takes e4 check. Something takes e4 check.
Oh yeah, there was just check, and then some sort of a check, and white's king is driven out and
some cute way to do it.
And Nihal sees it.
Got it.
He sees everything. Yeah, he sees it on the next move.
Sweet.
And this is going to be a very, very important win. with the black pieces. It looked very questionable at one moment, but he kept finding creative ideas. He kept the gas pedal pressed down on that king side, and it pays off even against Wesley's tactical prowess. Queen h1, queen takes h7.
Queen F.
Queen h1, queen h3.
He's got a hope and a prayer.
Oh, accuracy to the end.